Despite re-debuting with Keena and gaining 4 new members, 50/50 2.0 is still facing controversies. Issues like accepting an award for a song they didn't work on, concerns over new members' ages, plagiarism, and continued boycotts are raising questions about whether the group is going to make it. In November of last year, Attract shocked everyone by announcing plans to re-debut 50/50 with a new lineup centered around Keena. After the 3 former members had their contracts terminated and were sued by the company, a lot of fans thought that they would just debut a new group. But even though the decision was surprising, it also made a lot of sense. People didn't know the original members, but they knew the group name and knew that they were the artists that released the song Cupid. Why not take advantage of the public's limited awareness of the members and their unfamiliarity with their legal issues by using the group's name to put out more songs? So they started auditions. Originally, they intended to select the members by April and release a single in June, but according to David Young, the CEO of Evergreen Group Holding, so many talented people auditioned that they had a hard time choosing the perfect members to join the group. The lineup was finally completed by April, but Attract pushed the release to September, saying that they wanted to ensure that the quality of the song was higher. As for the new members, their names remained a secret even though everyone was waiting on the edge of their seats to see who they were. Based on the little information the company gave, the members were all Korean and were born between 2005 and 2008. They also notified the fans that despite being the only member left from the original lineup, Keena wasn't going to be the leader of the group. The first hint of their identities came on July 8th when 50/50 posted several pictures on the group's Instagram account to celebrate Keena's birthday. All 5 members are featured in the pictures, but Keena is the only one whose face can be seen. In some photos, only their hands are shown, and in one of the pictures posted on their story, the other members have turned their backs to the camera. However, since they all had dark long hair, nobody could make theories about who they were. Then, on July 23rd, they posted a short video teaser to get fans excited about their upcoming activities. The teaser shows Keena closing her eyes as she starts a game of hide and seek, and the new members run around trying to hide. However, even though the 4 members are featured in the video, the camera either shows them in quick motion or just shows parts of their faces, making it harder once again to see who they are. In the end, the girls run to Keena and hug her. Despite the quick and blurry camera work, netizens still managed to identify 2 of the new members. As rumored in the past, one of them was Are You Next contestant Chanel, who was identified by the lower half of her face and her familiar smile, while the other one turned out to be another Are You Next trainee, more specifically Sonya Won. Both of them, especially Chanel, were fan favorites amongst the viewers of the show, so you would think that her debut in 50/50 would generate some kind of excitement, but it had the opposite effect. Supporters of the original members have actively urged others to boycott Attract ever since the legal issue started, but they have now extended their boycott to the new lineup as well. The Fight for Fifi account on Twitter, which has been very outspoken in its support of the original members in the legal fight between them and Attract, has started a campaign to reject all content from the group. They also said that backing the new 50/50 lineup supports Attract's questionable business practices and efforts to ignore the original members' contributions. Fans of the former lineup have also voiced their disapproval over the fact that trainees like Chanel and Yewon decided to support Attract after everything they allegedly did to the former members. A Twitter user wrote, "Chanel was my most anticipated trainee from any survival show ever, but there is no way I will be tuning in. I hope Attract suffers for what they did to the members." If you were to ask Korean netizens though, the boycott was ridiculous and unnecessary. The commenters on online forums said that nobody knew the name or number of the original members, calling international fans ridiculous. Some comments mentioned that a boycott only works if there's consumption, so for fans who never bought albums or supported their content, there was nothing to boycott. Some non-Korean fans even supported the sentiment, writing, "A lot of those people didn't even buy their music to begin with. 50/50 were the typical small company group with a lot of people talking about them but not buying their music." One could even argue that the campaign was giving the new members even more attention, which is the last thing the boycotters wanted. Despite the pushback, the group still went on with their releases as scheduled. The first time the new members' faces were revealed was in a teaser clip posted on August 8th. The video shows them running through a green field toward a seesaw. In the end, they all gather on one side of the seesaw, leaving the other side up in the air with the caption, "Perfectly balanced at last." It turned out Chanel and Yewon were part of the group, while the third member was identified as Liam Haram, who was known amongst the public as a solo singer and YouTuber. The final member, Athena, was introduced on August 11th, and her striking appearance, along with the fact that she lived in Sweden, generated a lot of buzz from the public. There were some concerns though, as it's being said that Athena is only 17. This concern was heightened by rumors that the CEO of Attract followed accounts posting explicit content, sometimes involving people who had recently turned 18. But since the following list of the CEO wasn't public knowledge, there wasn't a lot of noise about it. In fact, people generally praised Attract's member selection selections. They all had stunning visuals, the 3 known members were quite talented, and it was clear that the company was putting a lot of effort into the re-debut. When we say that Attract was playing all their cards right, when promoting the girls, we mean it. They had done an amazing job at raising the excitement of the public for the new members. The teasers had some of the most creative ways to introduce them, and then they also released a video of the 5 of them covering Charlie Puth's We Don't Talk Anymore and Lee Jin's Secondary Option. Their voices blended beautifully together, and Keena, who was known as a rapper in the original lineup, showed the public that she was a great vocalist as well. So now that the public knew that everyone in the group was talented, it was time to actually release music. The first song that was released with the new lineup was actually a pre-release titled Starry Night, and netizens had mixed reactions. Some fans praised the song, saying it was a great way to reintroduce Keena to the group and that it highlighted the members' vocal talents perfectly. Koreans were especially supportive of the members, praising the song and Attract for choosing it. Others were disappointed. A Reddit user wrote, "The driving beat is carrying this song, the melodies are lackluster, and I can't discern their vocal colors. This is a miss for me." Many comments noted that the vocal mixing wasn't great, with the members' voices coming across as flat compared to how they sounded in the cover video. However, since the reception of the song depends on people's taste in music, there's no point discussing it, but so far it has been successful. The music video got 9 million views as of September 5th, and it's doing decently in the charts, especially considering everything that had happened. The whole thing didn't go without any incidents, though. First, fans felt frustrated when Attract referred to the new album as 50/50's second mini-album, even though it's a completely new release. They pointed out that the group's logo, fandom name, and lineup had all changed, leaving only the name from the original group. Therefore, it felt unfair to call it their second mini-album. Then there were several accusations of plagiarism, some sillier than others. A few were angry that the song had the same name as Mama Moose's Starry Night, even though there are a lot of groups that have songs with the same name. Fans of Baby Monster also claimed that the teaser for Starry Night had a similar style and design to the concept used for Stuck in the Middle. Even New Jeans' name was involved in the accusations, with some saying that they were copying the group's style. Mostly, these accusations were seen as ridiculous. The one thing that could definitely be used as an argument was that Attract reused Sena's concept film for Keena's and Chanel's teasers. The overall point stands that the artists mentioned here don't own song titles, concepts, or fonts, so jumping through hoops just to make issues over small details is doing nothing to diminish the excitement for the group. But that's not even the worst problem they're facing, as David Young, the CEO of Evergreen Group Holdings and a big investor for Attract, got arrested on August 1st for falsification of accounts. A year ago, amid the Attract and 50/50 legal battle, he poured $7.5 million into the company so he could save it. Since then, he has frequently posted pictures with Attract CEO John Hongjun and Keena, and also played a key role in casting the new members. So his recent scandal stunned the fandom and made them wonder what this could mean for the group, and so far, it's not looking good. On August 3rd, the police announced they're also investigating Evergreen Group Holdings for possible fraud, and that they're checking if the company misused money from investors who were promised 10% interest on their investments. So is the money that he invested in Attract valid? Because if not, then both the company and the group would be in big trouble. They're about to debut a new girl group and will have to spend money on promotions and everything else, so having their investor be investigated and potentially go to jail at this time would be disastrous. The news also raised questions about the character of Attract's CEO. People wondered why he would team up with someone like David Young, especially since he must have known about the suspicious nature of his business. Fans had also already noticed that Evergreen was on Singapore's central bank's investor alert list a few months ago, something CEO John Hongjun should have probably been aware of. This suggests that, at best, he was naive by partnering with a scammer for the second time, and at worst, he chose to accept the investment despite knowing about David Young's crimes. So far, Attract has been acting as if this problem doesn't even exist, but this will probably backfire in their faces. Undeniably, though, the biggest controversy of the group was their appearance at the Billboard K-Power 100 event. This wasn't the first time that Keena was going to a Billboard event, since she had attended the Billboard Music Awards by herself when she went back to Attract. But since she was part of the original lineup, and in turn part of the group's success with Cupid, nobody had a problem with her being there. However, the new members who joined the group after the song's release faced criticism for being at the event and accepting the Hot 100 Achievement Award for something they weren't involved in. One user even claimed that the original 3 members deserved credit for the English version of the song, which went viral, pointing out that Seo and Aaron sang it while Sena choreographed the dance challenge. So this led the public to ask, why were 4 members who had nothing to do with the song standing there and posing with the award as if they had contributed? There were also a few comments and tweets calling them shameless and undeserving, as they criticized Attract for putting girls in an unfavorable position by sending them to the event in the first place. However, some some people thought the criticism of the new members was unfair. They argued that supporting the new lineup is no different from supporting other groups from companies known for mistreating artists. They compared it to fans supporting groups like Baby Monster or aespa, even though they knew those companies had mistreated previous or current artists. A commenter wrote, "If you really don't want to support shady companies that mistreated its groups, then you wouldn't stand basically any K-pop group." Additionally, they said that the group posing with the award wasn't that big of a deal. Originally, only Keena had gotten up on stage to accept the award, but then she invited the other members on stage along with her, and afterwards, they took the picture. Someone else also mentioned that Attract has every right to add new members, relaunch the group, and claim awards and profits from past work since they own the copyright, so to get mad at the members was pointless. Even with the boycott and criticism from international fans, it looks like 50-50 is thriving. In the end, as long as they make good music and stay out of controversies, they should continue to do well. With backing from the public and other fans, their path to success seems promising.